marching band. For your halftime entertainment, we celebrate the 43-year reign of the speed metal kings, Metallica. With 9 Grammy Awards and 14 nominations, 38 concert tours worldwide, 11 studio albums that span 4 decades, the Titans of Thrash remain the standard by which all other metal is measured. We begin with a 1984 classic from their second album, For Whom the Bell Tolls, followed by the 1992 tour anthem, Wherever I May Roam. And then, let's turn down the house and light up the stage with the Auburn University Marching Band and their show, Metallica.
Sunday night is here once again, and that means it's time for another live recording of the Auburn Experience podcast, episode 155, coming your way. As always, going to catch you up with the latest Auburn news and Auburn potpourri. 2 main topics as well, where we'll dive into some great detail. Football, softball, baseball tonight. We're going to call this one Schedule Palooza, I think. All that's coming up for you right now. David Housel described it best. We are living the whole of the Auburn experience. You can quantify it, you can qualify it through a variety of methods, time, people, places, and things. But at its heart and at its core, the Auburn experience is all about Auburn sports, Auburn culture, and Auburn family stuff. An easier way to say it, though, is it's orange and blue. It's what we do. So thank you so much for joining us in what we're going to be doing this evening. We're excited to be back with you. As always, I'm your host, Kyle Loomis. Alongside me, co-host and the merriest, jolliest guy, even though he's not downed in a ugly Christmas sweater tonight. He's got a pretty cool obby one there. Mr. Austin Scott, welcome back and Merry Christmas, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. War Eagle to you, War Eagle to our viewers and listeners. Hope everyone's having a happy pre-Christmas weekend. The real thing, it's all this week. It starts. So War Eagle and a Merry Christmas.
War Eagle and a Merry Christmas to you as well, sir. I'm excited for this time of year. Look, I've been talking about Christmas, with you?
Since September.
No, not since September. I waited until after Thanksgiving, and then we started putting the lights up. Creepy Auburn Santa, who you can't see in this shot right here, is
it was close to like October.
It was close enough, right? I was a little bit busy in October, by the way, and so
just a little bit.
There wasn't enough time to get even into the holiday spirit.
Jingle cowbells.
Jingle cowbells. Oh man, I was thinking about that the other day. Anyway, that's a side thought. Doesn't need to go there. It's like a squirrel thought. Just back here on the show tonight. Yeah, obviously, we are excited about what we might get for Christmas that's Auburn related. I'm sure you asked for a few things from Santa. From Auburn.
Yeah, there's a few things on there. Of course, the swoosh had some things that had to look at my list and say just do it, and so I got a couple things on there. This actually right here, I should say this before I get is a bit of an early Christmas present. It was kind of an add-on thing. Emily found that she gave me pre-Iron Bowl. It's a sweatshirt she found at the local antique shop. That's a Tiger Rags for some of you who I remember do not had no idea what we were talking about. Tiger Rags, which just makes me feel really old, is a Christmas themed Tiger Rags sweatshirt. So it's from the Iron Bowl. So you can't see it. It says ho 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 5 in a row. It's
a bad one to bring up right now though.
Well, that's why it's perfectly cut off. You know?
It's
perfectly cut off right there at ho ho ho. So I got to make sure I stand up real tall.
You should have just acted like there was nothing else underneath there.
Well, people might be like, "What the heck? How'd they make that?" But anyway, so it was perfect to wear tonight and this season.
It's good. It's good.
So yeah, I've already had even some Auburn good Christmas stuff.
There you go. I love it already. A little shout out to Tiger Rags as well. They're back, and I hope you guys are really, really getting acquainted with them again, because that's like core Auburn memories of, when I was in college back in my day.
It's a good thing to bring it back. Like maybe it's like the start of ushering in the good times again, Hey,
listen,
to go forward, we got to go back
and then go forward again. But together this time, Tiger Rags is going to stay with us. So right. I love it. A little early Christmas for you and a little shout out for them to start off the show this evening. Can we listen? We're going to have fun with Christmas. I think next time too. If we have time, we'll do a little bit of show and tell. Yeah, show and tell at lunch. We do this show way too often together. We need to have a little powwow, Austin, tonight. We need to gather around, have everybody just, let's
around.
let's huddle up here, folks. Let's have a discussion. Let's
Kumbaya.
not even kumbaya. I'm not kumbaya with these people that I'm about to get on. Listen, I know some of y'all get tired about me just getting on people about the way they react as fans and stuff like that. I hear you on that. I don't care. I'm still here. I'm going to do this on these shows from time to time.
Here he goes.
Some of y'all have to really, really take stock of how overly important the decision-making of 18 to 24-year-olds sometimes people is, whether it's about recruiting, and that's even 16, 17, 18-year-olds, and transfer portal stuff. I am so over the catastrophizing of the transfer portal. What did y'all think was going to happen? First of all, it's the transfer portal. People are going to go and come as they please. Then you've also got a transition of a head coach. Some of y'all who wanted the head coach fired vehemently, this is what you asked for. You're the same folks complaining about all of this loyalty stuff. One of my biggest pet peeves is when people want to say that these players aren't being loyal, but they're the first ones to dog these players on social media. I'm sorry. I was supposed to be happy. It's a Christmas show or the pre-Christmas show. Here I am, Austin, just going on a rant. Please, if you disagree or if you think I should chill out about this, let me know. I'm kind of over it at this point. Like, this is the new world. Deal with it, folks.
Well, yes, and right there, you hit on it. To me, it's not so much of even like a loyalty thing. It's like this is the world we're in now in college athletics. Nobody really likes it. I assure you, the coaches don't like it. It's really not that different than what we've seen. And I'll be honest with you, regardless of where you fell on the coaching search or whoever you wanted hired, heck, maybe you didn't want Hugh Freeze fired. This was going to happen anyway because it's Pandora's box is wide open. There are no guardrails. There are no rules. There's no rules. Remember that commercial? That was a great commercial. You don't know what I'm talking about, do you?
I don't know what you're talking about, but I wasn't going to say anything.
Okay.
So
It was the guy in the Little Caesars and he took his shirt off. And then they said, there's one rule. Anyway, we're going to keep going. But my brother's listening tomorrow and he'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And so there's just no rules. So this was going to happen. I don't care if you brought in your primo candidate 1A. This was going to happen. And until I don't know, I was going to say until blank happens. That's truly what it is. Nobody knows how to fix this.
Yeah.
And the people that are supposed to know how to fix it certainly don't know how to fix it. And so this is happening every year, whether you like it or not. Good players are going in. Your favorite player has a chance to go in and leave and ask for more money and see if they can get it on the open market. So it's not fun, but that's where we're at in college athletics. So you can let it get you down in the dumps and try and earn your coal from Santa, or you can just ride the wave and not worry about what someone else is doing, much less someone probably half your age.
Look, people are going to leave. People are going to come in here and we're going to act like they're the next best thing since sliced bread. And then when they don't meet the expectations that you set for them arbitrarily, and then you're going to complain about how much they're paid. This vicious cycle of toxicity amongst the fan base to the players. I'm kind of over it right now. Like all of this stressing about is this player going to leave? Oh, when I say so what, don't hear me not saying I don't want them to stay. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just like, this is the world you live in. And this is doubly what you asked for when you screamed for someone to be fired. You asked for the doubling of this, tripling of this. So welcome to what you wanted, folks.
Well, sure. Yeah. That almost makes it.
You stopped me from saying something.
That almost makes it a guarantee. But I think you're seeing plenty of people who are being considered successful or hired a great hire or retain their coach, and you're still seeing the portal go nuts. It's the world we're living in. And I think we can get into it in another time. I think that there are certain things in this day and age that you prioritize in college football to make sure your culture is not one that sees a bunch of turnover. But at the end of the day, it's the kid's decision to do what they want and see what happens.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme, because none of us can change it. It's going to happen whether you care about it or not. I think you're probably best to, just like we kind of say with signing day, you're best to just see how the chips fall after that day. And with the portal, you're probably just best to see how the chips fall after the portal window closes, which, hey, look, they did give them credit. They did something right. We got a set date on that now. So
They did.
wow.
Wow.
You know what? How about you people just check back in mid-January, okay?
Yeah, listen. Trust me, just because you have an opinion doesn't mean you have to go on social media spewing it and adding to the vitriol on there. Like, I mean, come on, just take a chill pill. Everybody, this is what we asked for. It's a cycle, okay?
That's right.
Some cycles take a little bit longer because we did things that made it so it didn't have to be this way. But there we are.
There he goes.
And I found a way to work it back in. All right, let's get into it here. That was quite an opening segment with a lot of positivity and negativity mixed in on it.
Yeah.
We're gonna call this one coming up Schedule Palooza. We're gonna get into it, but we got to talk about Auburn potpourri stuff, and there is a plenty of things going on in Auburn potpourri this week. I thought we were a little limited, but then I realized I had a crude list of things, Austin, and so let's work through it. We're not going to spend a full segment on basketball this week because we're in that period of time where they're playing like one team a game, and sometimes they're not big games. For men's basketball this week, pretty big matchup. A lot of excitement around it. Auburn versus Purdue. Return of this, I want to say home and home series, but it's a neutral and neutral series, just in a different,
your footprint. Your footprint series.
Your footprint. So we're in Indianapolis for this one. Number 6 Purdue at the time, which makes it the 4th of the AP top 10 that they have faced so
top
far.
8 if you want to get real particular.
Get real particular on that as well. So can we stop on that for a second? Auburn's 4 losses have come at the hands of AP top 8 currently right now. That would be Michigan and Arizona, who utterly destroyed us.
Those are top 2 in case you're keeping track.
Purdue, who just whooped us. Let's just say a whooping, not as bad as the other 2, but whooped us. And then you had a Houston game where Auburn had the final shot and just didn't make it. So laying all that out, we'll next week go into full non-conference stuff, even though there's going to be another. But just anything that you want to share about the Purdue game or anything like that.
Well, truthfully, I listened to more of it than I got to watch, which was quite all right. But another team where Auburn was pretty outmatched in the height category and the paint category, and just still figuring out a lot of how they're going to combat that kind of offense and that kind of scheme, because the book is out after Arizona especially, but Purdue exploited what Auburn's kind of lack of size in the middle and in the front, and it's just they're going to see that the rest of the year, whether it's Florida or Alabama or Ole Miss. They all have size now, so it's not going away. It's a problem that's not going away, but it's certainly something Auburn and Stephen Pearl and the staff are going to have to figure out how they can stay level with it and see if they can stay in competition with those kind of teams, because that's the way to beat Auburn at the moment and beat Auburn handily. On the optimistic side, I think you have to look at the fact that they have had 4 losses, yes, but to the top 8 teams. They've tested themselves mightily. It reminds me of another Final Four team before. I'm not going to say who it is because we don't talk about them, but they front loaded their heavy schedule and struggled and had losses. And I think we're about 7-5 toward the end of non-comp. They had played everybody and their mother, and then SEC's schedule went through it pretty well because they've been battle tested. I think that's what you've got to really hope for, and could see maybe the fruits of Auburn benefiting from a schedule like this.
Yeah, listen, the blowout nature of this Purdue game didn't diminish how excited I was for this, because I love the fact that Auburn is playing this difficult of a schedule and capping it off with Purdue in the difficult categories or the difficult games that were on Auburn's list. So, I'm disappointed in what we have not seen from them in those big games. There's been one time where they've just not been able to, or they've been able to show some formidability. But listen, Purdue returned basically the majority of their star players. Braden Smith I mean, my gosh, what, like 14 assists last night,
Yeah.
things like that. So it is what it is. Auburn is right now is not ready to consistently compete with the upper echelon of the top 10. However, they can compete, as they showed with Houston, just not consistently. We'll go into more detail about it, but you got to give your tip of the cap Purdue for returning the favor to us, after last year's whooping that we put on them. And I think it was probably a little bit worse on our end than theirs. They probably, held back and had a little bit less, did a little bit less to us over the time than we did down in Birmingham. But either way, hey, congrats to Purdue. Auburn's non-conference schedule is about over. The women also got back into action this week. Alcorn State. These are the games that you expect to win, or no matter who it is, because it's one of those team names that you just don't really recognize as being a strong basketball program, at least up to SEC calibers teams. The final score on that one, I think, was 62-50. So not really that big of a margin of victory. And if I remember from the press conference with Coach Larry Vickers, it's kind of a couple times now I've seen him a little bit, I don't want to say frustrated, but like not so excited about the victories, like basically saying we should have done more, or this should not have been as close as it was. And here's the things that I think he talked about getting more out of his squad. Right now, I think that seems to be the narrative right now. Although, I mean, listen, 10 wins before the new year, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it is incredible. And I hate they don't get as much attention as they probably should, but it's something really to be excited about with this team. And I continue just to kind of beat the drum for them. But I think everything Coach Vickers is saying and doing looks like it is the building of a good program, at least setting the strong foundation for what can come. So he's not pleased with certain things, and it seems to be that kind of perfectionist, which I think is great. And I'm really excited to see this team start conference play. Really excited to see where they match up against some of the teams in this league. They should be on the same level of as in past years, and haven't. And I think that this could be a big chance for Auburn to kind of get back into the stronghold of being that team that can compete with most everybody in the SEC.
Yeah, it would hope so that this is just a sign of what could be a surprisingly, fun year in the first year under Larry Vickers as they slowly wrap up their non-conference play. One more to go for them. Like we said, next week we'll talk about men's and women's.
Which is a doubleheader, which will be fun
doubleheader.
We vouch for that a lot.
I love it. Can we please? I'm begging you. Everybody that's involved in scheduling, Auburn people, SEC people, non-conference people, for the very least, SEC. I know people will vehemently disagree with me on this, and some probably have great points on it. But to me, I think it is attainable to have in the spirit, nowhere near like a game day football atmosphere, but in the spirit of it, if you will combine men's and women's playing the exact same team in the arena together, spread out throughout the day. At the same time. Well, at the same time, one end's going and then just fly. No, I'm just saying, listen, let's talk about it. These doubleheader things. There's if you ever been to a high school game where they play a bunch of games back to back, there's a lot of energy in that gym. Just saying, something to think about at least. All right. We got a lot to get through here. Let's keep rolling. Finishing up our discussions about the staff being put together for Coach Galesh. Last week. At the time, we did not have, at least publicly, the name of our new tight end coach. We were pretty aware, I think, of him at the time of what was going to happen. But officially now, tight end coach Larry Scott is with Auburn and finalizes, at least on the field positions, Coach Galesh's squad and I keep trying to say roster, his staff for this year. Now, the interesting thing here for me is not who it was or necessarily, the tight end was the last spot that we needed, but we've got a head coach, I believe, leaving his current position. He wasn't fired. Am I mistaken?
That's right. Yeah,
he was not fired, or he was?
He was not fired.
So he leaves. Now, look, Howard, Auburn, I get you. Listen, I understand that we've got SEC football versus, non-power football, not Division I, all that kind of stuff. But it's, Howard's had some pretty good years and stuff. You're leaving a head coaching position to come be tight end coach at Auburn. That's pretty incredible to me that Auburn was able to steal him away. And listen, I'm glad that we picked up another guy, and I'm excited to have him here as a tight end coach.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think he's it's another level or another person on this staff that you get to say has leadership skills and has, Division I experience Howard's Division I experience, leading a club. Obviously his resume speaks for himself on where he's been and high end programs and recruits he's had. But I think it's impressive to say the least on, convincing a sitting head coach to come join your staff in a position coach. So I think it's exciting. I think I read that his son is actually a support staff member that's been with Coach Golish for a while. So really cool connection there to see them both kind of team up. I'm sure they're very excited about that. I'm sure Mama's very excited about that. But that'll be really fun to see. And I look forward to hearing more from him.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what we could get out of him. And completing the staff is just a big thing right there. One of those boxes you had to check in this new era of Auburn football. Hopefully it's the last of new eras for a while. I think we're all hoping and
yes,
and really wishing that right now. Potpourri continuing here. We've got a commitment this week for Auburn football, but it's part of the 2026 class. So we still vacant on 2027. He's got a clean slate, but with all of this craziness of this coaching carousel of issues for other programs out there, such as Michigan, there are opportunities about it. When a head coach leaves, they get an opportunity to not only transfer, but to get out of their national letter of intent. And that's what happened here. A product from Georgia, Bear McWhorter, has decided, an interior offensive lineman, that he will now wants to be part of the 2026 Auburn football class, which is always, you got to have plenty of these interior guys. And I just love that his name's Bear too. I wish it was Tiger. We'll take it.
Yeah. No, very cool to see a local guy and quite the offer list. Wanted by many of the major programs in the SEC and beyond. Obviously had signed with Michigan. They had their own snafus go on. And so he was decided to back out. Hard to blame him. But he decides to join the new staff and kind of, yes, very much the signees that was able to put together in the signing day class for Alex Golish and the staff was done. But this was kind of I would imagine a pretty quick recruitment on an offensive lineman from Georgia to turn heads instead of go to Ann Arbor, come to Auburn. So really excited to see what he can be. And like you said, great name. We'll take a good name all day.
Yeah, it's listen, we was a while we were winning like the war of the names. You had like Tyler
Smoke.
Queen, Smoke. We had the royalty thing, Prince Tagawanago Jr., all that kind of stuff, and plenty of others as well. But excited to have him. A nice little surprise to give a little bit more excitement to that 2026 class that I know a lot of people aren't, just over the moon about. Again, we've talked about why you shouldn't be that way last time, but exciting addition there for new coach Golish and beefing up literally with a bear, the 2026 class. Finally in Potpourri, a little bit of surprising news this week, Austin. I'll be honest, of all the things that I had on my bingo card that I would get a news of this week, this was not on it. And I think I said as much in a TikTok stream this week. You've got War Eagle Plus, you got all these different things, media outlets that you can engage with Auburn, and just newfangled things are coming out all the time. Did you now know that you can have War Eagle Mobile for yourself, sir? What about Auburn, War Eagle entering the mobile phone game or mobile service game? I'm sure you heard about this.
I did.
Kind of exciting.
The first thing that came to my mind when I heard War Eagle Mobile was that, is my ringtone or my callback tone, like when you used to call someone, you could put a music, like a song there instead of like the ringing. I was like, is that the fight song now? My kids are going to love that. No. And then I read more about it, and it's a whole deal with phone plans and everything of a creative way to get more NIL money and figure out an easy way for Auburn people to contribute. So I'm assuming you have the press release there, or you have a little bit more to share on the details.
I think that's really what people need to know right now. T-Mobile is who this is partnered with.
Yes.
So for those of you that are already T-Mobile customers, I would imagine this is going to be a little bit easier of a transition for you. So think about it this way: an easy way for you to once again support your not just, this isn't about just football. This is the athletic program. support their efforts across the board. So this is where you can put your money where your mouth is, and maybe switch over if you're not switch over. I guess you can do if you're a different service, but T-Mobile, if you're already there, this is something to look into. I think it's auburntigers.com/War Eagle Mobiles. I would imagine a little bit off that, but they put out their article this week on it. I'm sure we'll be talking about it when new information comes out about it. But just something to keep in mind is another way to support things. I just didn't think this week that we would be talking about what my first thought was. Auburn's now going to take over with Apple.
If only that was the case. Can we get a portion of every iPhone purchase go on Auburn NIL?
Oh, you're going to get a lot of people stirred up about that, about Tim Cook and things like that. Either way, though, keep it on. War Eagle is partnered with Collegiate Mobile, so this is obviously a group that's been doing this in this space for a little bit. Now Auburn's partnering as well. So just a little bit of something extra, not necessarily directly related to sports, but supporting sports as well. Didn't have that on my bucket list this week or my bingo card. It was kind of cool to see.
Yeah, that very cool. I love the creativity. That's the stuff I think is going to set different programs apart from each other in this era.
I think it's a great way to look at it and a great point. War Eagle Mobile, it's out there, so check out with it. We do have two main topics. Are we good to continue, Austin, as of this moment?
Can we take a slight intermission roll?
Yes, you go right ahead, sir. We will take an intermission, and I will entertain the fine folks. This is one of those times where we have to just kind of go with the flow a little bit and let Austin take care of some business that's going on. Everything's fine. You can imagine with having two twin boys, I'm just going to make a leap of assessment there. That is what's going on. And we will get back to our regularly scheduled recording of this in just a second. In the meantime, this gives me a great opportunity to go back to, and I see that in there too. That's really great. I forget who wrote that in there. WT said this about Tiger Rags earlier, had the best game day shirts ever, and they're back again. So if you're not aware, they're partnering with, or at least I shouldn't say partnering. I believe they were bought, the branding, all that stuff, by a company downtown in Auburn. I always mispronounce their name, so I'm not going to try it here on the fly right now. But starts with an A, downtown. Check them out. They're doing some good things with it. I'm just happy to have it back in the game because, yes, it was, even if you didn't go buy the T-shirt, it was like a tradition to either go to the store or to just find somebody who had bought the T-shirt and say, okay, what's this week's or this game, this special games, big shirt design. What did they come up with? It's almost like, think about it this way. It's like the game day buttons in various places, but we go obviously to the AU bookstore and share theirs. It's like going there to see what funny quip or something they came up with. The buttons are obviously on a much smaller scale, a little bit, not as, intricate out there. But hey, check them out, Tiger Rags, and I certainly am glad to have them back, part of the experience there. If they do their shirts like they did in the 90s, I will be buying them. I believe it's the same design. If I'm not, I'll be quite frank with you guys, like we are thinking about now that football is done with, is I might try to have some different voices and opinions and other things on, just to share some things that for you guys. So we may do something like that in the future for having them on, talk about that, because I know that's something that a lot of you are familiar with. But as Austin was talking about earlier, the Tiger Rags is something that not a lot of people, or excuse me, some people are not aware of at this point. I think we're ready to go with Mr. Scott, so we'll bring him back aboard to see if he is cleared to go. And that's not the right one. There's the right one for me.
Can you hear me?
Yes. All right.
Apologies. That was not a bathroom run for those. Just saying. I'm sure that, I assume it was more had to do on the lines of you and I's initial discussion tonight. Making sure everybody's okay. Yep.
There are joyous things that sometimes just require immediate attention, don't they?
That is 100% correct.
There's certain little individuals that just demand things. I don't know what's going on with that.
And it is priority 1, 2, and 3.
1, 2, and 3. All right, back rolling through here. Let's start with our first main topic this evening. I've called this, as I do most shows, I feel like, when there's like one running theme, something Palooza. This is schedule Palooza. And that's because they dropped every schedule they possibly could last week and then some. So last week we talked, and we're going to start with football here. We already did the SEC schedule for and the full schedule now for everything. So please check all of that out if you
Yes.
have not done so. There's clips out there already. I believe if not, we'll have them out soon for you guys as well. But what we're going to focus on here was the other piece of last week that was announced by Auburn alongside the news of the full schedule for 2026 being brought out. And that's non-conference stuff. Because look, I know there's one less game now. I know that a lot of us are, some people happy about it. Some people are a little bit maybe iffy about it. But what we can all agree about is that we're excited about that Notre Dame matchup. Can we just agree on that?
Oh,
Austin?
my God. Have we talked about that? Yeah,
we have. Let's do it again. How about this? I'm going to bring up on the screen for everybody on this one a little bit of a tool that we can use. This comes straight from the athletic department as I switched the wrong one. There we go.
There it is.
I said I was going to get it right pre-show and I didn't, but
it's
here it
okay.
is.
It took you less times than this.
So this is a graphic created by the Auburn Athletic Department, so courtesy of them. But this gives you a perspective, a look at what to expect non-conference wise for the next 1 to 6 years. Now, it's not fully scheduled out in those last 3 years, as you can tell, right. And you've already known some of the major things here. Let's walk through it, though, Austin, just a little bit there and see if we can, get a little bit more excited about some of these things. If you want to talk about Notre Dame again, we can. Let's just start there. The next 2 years with them.
Yeah, I think that one and Miami, the 2 after that are the headliner of this, right? Miami, right. We've known about for several years now, I think. But I think that it's pretty impressive to see that those are 2 storied programs that Auburn fans are going to get the chance to see either at home or away. And I think Notre Dame is one of those on Clint's list. We'll call it Clint's list, trademarked. We can say that. That is someone Auburn has never played in their entire existence of playing football. And that's the biggest one. I feel like every time we talk about the Clint's list, trademark, is that you get to see people clamoring for Notre Dame. And finally it happens. I said this a couple weeks ago when we talked about it, but I commend John Cohen and this athletic administration immensely for kind of shifting gears and making sure that is a home and home after the Baylor discussions and things and how that went down. So yeah, I'm ecstatic about it. It's one I absolutely will be doing my best to get to. I view it higher than Penn State on when we discussed that one and how I made that trip. I view Touchdown Jesus in South Bend, Indiana as a absolute bucket list moment. And I think it will be awesome to be a part of. If I remember right, that year's the first time Auburn will go to Austin, Texas. So a big year for Auburn and for the football schedule and sights to see. So gear up for it. But I mean, I haven't even mentioned any of Miami. They're now obviously a playoff team, but that's one that also Auburn fans should be excited about down the road. So I love the home and homes. You obviously got a big Power 5 home and home. You got a schedule for 31 and 32, maybe on down the road, maybe the summer we'll revisit on what we could see next. If it hadn't been announced by then, I don't know. But
I thought you were about to hit into me.
No, I know nothing. I know nothing. I don't know who
nothing.
It is. But I'm just saying that's got to get filled out too. But obviously to see it right there on the schedule like this is very cool.
Yeah, listen, I love talking schedules. Y'all know this. And the Notre Dame thing, as we talked about previous, has been on my wish list for years.
Absolutely.
And I literally was sitting down in my recliner the day it was announced and just let out the biggest yell across the house. And thankfully, other people were not in the house to hear me squeal like a little schoolgirl. But I loved that announcement. And I'm so excited that Rudy. And I will be doing that nonstop. So just get ready for that, folks. And I will also try to be there. This Miami matchup we've known for a long time. I feel like we've probably talked about it. I don't know if we were doing the show back when it was announced.
I don't know. I was thinking the same thing.
But listen, it's another marquee program. The connection there with Notre Dame, with them playing a lot and having some history there in national championships and stuff. So that one kind of just speaks for itself. An currently ACC, who knows, opponent. When we get there, we'll see if it's still the same thing. But what you have filling out here, and as you see for the rest of the couple of years, yes, you need a marquee opponent for 30, 31, and 32. We can speculate that down the line, talk about that. Who should it be? Who's on Clint's list? Trademark. All of that. You got me doing it now too. But you're going to have 3 games. And obviously the trend seems to be a major power opponent, a smaller Division I opponent, and then a Division II or lower regional team is what it looks like. And it looks, tendency is here that they're really giving some focus, even more so now, to either in-state or really nearby teams. So look right here, 2027, Middle Tennessee State, Austin P. Not the closest, but Austin P is
Tennessee.
Is that Tennessee too?
Yeah, outside Cookeville. No, that's Tennessee Tech. I don't remember where P is. I think they're middle area of Tennessee, though.
What, Middle Tennessee? So we're just going to spend all our time, and then we got to go to Vanderbilt too. That's in the middle of Tennessee.
That's right.
Well, look at our. I don't know if it's
they're coming to us, but yeah.
Yeah. Either way, you get my point. And all of these Middle Tennessee teams are coming, so we just figured it out that way. So that one, to me, when you look at 2027. It looks like that's kind of the fillers before we fully move into this next spot where you see in 2028, Georgia Southern, obviously Notre Dame, we talked about already, and then North Alabama. Have we played North Alabama in football before?
Clint screaming. I'm pretty sure yes. I want to say that was not on his list of ones of in-state schools we had not played. I could be wrong. I know another one we'll talk about here in a minute what we have not played. But I don't remember, but I don't think so. But that's another one that's a local FCS team that, and like you said, plays off with the lower Division I in Georgia Southern. But you get an in-state school in North Alabama with a former Auburn assistant, Brent Dearman, coaching there to come to town in 28 and 2032. So that's a bit of a different flair, though. If we have played them before, it feels like it's been a while because normally, it seems to be a rotation of kind of either South Alabama or Samford or something like that. So that is a fun, different team to see on there.
So there you have in 2028, you've got your Georgia Southern, who is FBS. Now people forget that, but it feels like it's just kind of new. So that, and then you've got your Division II, whatever, AA. I don't forget what it's all called. The next step down, not FBS, part of this playoff system or whatever. So that's 2028. 2029, Miami. We're going to them for that one. Then you got Jack State. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Austin. Jack State, last time we played them was the scary one, or did we play them again after that? I can't remember.
No, I think that's right. 15. That was the first game with the new, well, that's not the new one anymore, but the big jumbotron.
Sure.
And I remember that. I remember that day very well. It was my home opener. It was my sophomore year, and it was like, all right, let's put the old scoreboard back up because it was like
because that was its fault.
Yeah, that's right. As this thing ruined us. But this Jack State game, if I remember right, and I think we hinted at this last week. This was on the schedule for this year, and I guess was switched out with Southern Miss earlier this year, or switched out with Samford, right?
Samford is who slid into that 2026 slot. Yeah.
So that'll be fun. Obviously we just talked about Brent Dearman at North Alabama, but Charles Kelly is at Jack State right now, and who knows if he'll still be there in 4 years, which is insane to think about. But that's another fun flair for the in-state crowd, and one odd team Auburn hasn't played in 10 years now. It'll be 14 by then, so really cool.
West Georgia, which is obviously the name that Alabama gives us over there.
Yes.
I don't think we've played them. Clint hasn't made his list of, I believe, of like non-FBS teams we haven't played, or maybe he has. I don't know.
I'd imagine that's quite larger.
That's a much larger group here. But here you go. You kind of see the trend, right? You're gonna start playing a little less competition, at least name-wise, as this new scheduling comes out here. And no offense, West Georgia, but come on. I mean, it's, there's a reason that Alabama fans try to call us that as a slight, just the same thing we call you East Mississippi, and there is an actual East Mississippi. There is a West Georgia. They're the Tigers too, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's the West Georgia Tigers.
West Georgia, are they?
I could be wrong, but
I want to say West Alabama is the Tigers.
Maybe that's who I'm thinking of, actually.
The West Georgia football team is the Wolves.
I was wrong, man. I got my animals mixed up.
But West Alabama, who I think you probably were thinking is the Tigers.
That's who it was. Take my zoology degree right now.
It's okay. It's your mascotology degree. But I will say this, Kyle. I just found Clint's latest I'm totally blanking.
List?
PDF list here. Yes.
Struggling with that list, aren't we?
Yes. Here. And I want to make one note that we were talking about North Alabama. They're not on here because they are FCS level. So that's similar to West Georgia. But Middle Tennessee is on here. So we are crossing another one off in a couple of years if everything stays the same in that one. So Middle Tennessee, Notre Dame, and we'll get to the other one, Troy, here in just a minute.
Yeah, real quick before we go there, I want everybody to notice something here. If you notice, the SEC schedule is for 4 years, 26, 27, 28, 29. Everything's complete for those 4 years.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So you know your opponents unless things change for the next 4 years. So unfortunately for me, you won't see a ton of big announcements or anything like that because we got to know it way out in advance at this point. But there's a wide open door here in 2030. The big name is there with Miami, 2 open slots for an FBS and then an FCS team.
But look at the trend, like we just talked about. You can probably guess on have a good idea who those might be.
Sounds like that's a topic we need to do.
There you go. I'm down for that.
We'll probably just pencil that in right there. Then you've already brought up 2032 with North Alabama there, so pencil in who you think it is. But let's talk about 2031.
Yeah.
Look. No one's sitting here thinking right now, even as bad as Auburn has played the last 5 years, that Troy will be favored coming to Auburn. You never know. They might just get on a little upstart and become the next Tulane or something like that. They've had some pretty good years. But for the very first time, Auburn and Troy will play and in the confines of Jordan-Hare Stadium in 2031. That was very exciting to hear. Big advocate over here of us playing the in-state schools and regionally close schools like Georgia Southern and all that too. I like that. I like seeing the regional teams, and I think it draws in a bigger crowd, especially for the smaller teams. I can imagine that Troy is going to have a great contingency of fans come, but it's still not going to, still going to pale in comparison to the Auburn family being there. But I'm excited about this one, Austin, because this should have happened a long time ago. And you and I, at least if everything holds, are finally getting this thing.
Yeah. And, when Clint brought this up and brought up his list again, it was one of those where he was like, I can't wait for people to stop saying, oh, surely we've played, because that's how it feels though.
Yes.
Surely we've played Troy at some point. And there's so many mutual connections. It feels like there's, Larry Blakeney we've talked about before, who's going to the Alabama State Hall of Fame this year. Or maybe it was College Football Hall of Fame. I don't remember which one it was. I think it was just Alabama. Is it the big one? Okay.
Either way.
Household name at both places. I would not be shocked if you see some kind of celebration of him at that 2031 matchup. That's obviously much further down the road. But it feels like Troy people and Auburn people overlap in a lot of ways. And so I think that'll be a very special game, very exciting game to kind of see those two teams finally get after it together against each other. And certainly I'm really excited that's finally on the books.
Absolutely. So look, there's a certain school that seems to have a struggle of finding room for certain in-state opponents. Some would say it's just a scheduling snafu. They don't have the space where others would ask the question, what are you afraid of?
100%.
There's one school in the state that ain't afraid. Now, we almost paid for it dearly, but and Troy might be one of those teams down the line if Auburn doesn't get this ship righted this era of Auburn football. But all I'm saying is at this point, one team ain't afraid. Another one seems to be, until you prove us otherwise. We'll still continue to hold it over your heads. And then as a final note in this schedule, I'd like for people to notice, and Austin can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I'm reading this correctly. You'll notice that there's no, like the marquee game is first or anything. This is actually the order that they're appearing in on the schedule, meaning like this one will come before that one. Middle Tennessee State, Austin Peay, and then Notre Dame, I think is what I've got that right. Because if you notice, Georgia Southern, Notre Dame, which is going to be, and Auburn is going to be in the middle of October, and then probably
I don't see why not.
North Alabama game will be probably November. Miami to start off the year in 2029, Jack State, probably that first home game. I'm just guessing here. And the West Georgia, probably a November game. Have no clue where, with that context, where the rest of this is going to fit in.
Yeah, it's a good point.
I
think I would imagine you're probably right. That the 27 one, I would not have thought about that except for the differences in Notre Dame there.
Yep.
But the 27 one's going to be very interesting to see how that all lines up, because like you said, you'd imagine those first two are at home. And then, yeah, I mean, then you're probably looking at it like an SEC game before the Iron Bowl, right? You'd have to be.
Probably looking
an
at
SEC
like
game
that.
before a home Iron Bowl. So yeah, that's very interesting. Great point there, Kyle. Good look at you. Good little observation.
Maybe I'm actually like earning my right to do this as a content.
How about that?
And over analyzing things. This is what I do, folks. I just read too much into things and spend my time looking for all the conspiracy theories, and it paid off this time.
Well, it makes sense. Like, why, if it wasn't the case, why wouldn't you just put Notre Dame on the left both
I'm just
times?
saying.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Like it.
You just check these things out from time to time. Okay, so there you have it. That is your and I'd put Austin off the screen there. Sorry about that, buddy. Bye. That is our 27 to 32 non-conference schedule as we know it right now. Plenty more to talk about in the coming, hopefully, months and years when we fill the rest of that out. Now, final main topic this evening. We're still in Schedule Palooza. We are going to take schedules that were announced last week, but there was not enough time to do that, and we're going to give you, a preview, not the season preview. Let me clarify that. We're not doing baseball and softball like our preview and prediction show. This is just, let's take a look at the schedule. It is finally complete. We have both of those for that. We're going to be full swing into basketball here pretty soon. Football is winding down for the most part, especially with the staff. So this is a good kind of place for us to park it for a second and get a little bit of excitement for the spring right before the holiday season. So what we're going to do is going to bring on the screen right now for you guys. We'll start with baseball, and I know it switched over again on me. Look at all these things. They just keep messing up on me. Not that one, though. We need to pull this one right here. Auburn baseball.
That's a pretty graphic right there, by the way.
I knew
Kudos.
You would approve of this.
Good job, folks.
This is Auburn baseball account and Auburn, War Eagle Productions team, all the media team there. They put this out there. We're just borrowing it.
That's Madden Bass. Shout out to Madden. I know Madden. Good job, son.
There you go. We got the complete shout out right there. Yes, it is beautiful. Credit to them for this beautiful graphic. So you guys can take a look at it and talk along with us on this. Not really a prediction show as we talked about, but I won't read every single one off for you. Obviously, home is in blue, away is in white. You're going to see some very usual things on there. A home and away with Georgia Tech as part of the non-conference schedule. In the midweek games, you're going to see a lot of the regional teams, the in-state teams, Jack State, Stanford, Alabama. I said
Sam, not Stan.
You remember how I was going to let something slide with you last? Dang it. Alabama State, South Alabama. I had to look up that logo, Austin.
Which one?
Next to Alabama away. I was like, is that South Alabama? That's their baseball logo. A lot of.
What did you think it was before you looked it up?
I thought first, I saw AS first. So I thought like Arkansas State for some reason.
See, I thought Arizona State.
And I was like, we're not that lucky. And that they still have the pitchfork for that, I believe. Anyway,
that's the thing with baseball, though. So many of these have just like there's Mississippi State down there at the bottom. They got so many baseball only logos.
Yeah,
that I wasn't quite sure, but that's South. That's interesting.
Yes,
because that's not the Jaguar.
There you go. I mean, I would prefer the Jaguar be there. I don't know how this became our critique of the.
I don't either.
But
they used. I want to say Madden used the right one. I think he used the right one for the baseball logos. I'm just saying that.
Yeah,
man, it's just strange.
Certainly. So other thing to clarify for you all, and I'm making sure I get everything right on this one before I open my mouth. I do have it. The Amergy Classic, which you see there early in non-conference play. The teams that you will face there are going to be Friday the 20th, Kansas State, Saturday the 21st, this February, if I didn't say that, Florida State, and then Sunday, February 22nd, Louisville. So Kansas State, Florida State, Louisville, you've got Big 12, ACC opponents that they're going to be playing in that big time. That's kind of, I want to say it's like the Maui Invitational, but like that's one of the big early season non-conference.
That's what it's become.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't want to overstep my bounds and say too much. Like, sometimes people like go, this thing's elite. can I have a quick rant?
Oh, boy.
Not everything is elite, folks. Please stop using the word elite.
You're
I'm
talking
begging
to the new head coach right there.
I'm sorry. I love you. I don't care who you are. I do it too. Can we please stop using the word elite? It is. Look, I don't
It's his
have
favorite word, it feels like.
I don't have a problem if you use it like in speech, but every post can't be this 2026 elite offensive lineman. I'm done. Sorry, this is a baseball conversation, not football. I'm such an old grouch.
Can I get elite in the rest of the show?
We need a counter now. All right, so I believe that is Youngstown State, right, to start off the year.
That's Yale, right?
Is that
Or is that Youngstown?
I think that's Youngstown. I think it's
I think you're right. Yale's a little more like symmetrical.
Yeah,
We're really on the logo critique tonight.
Oh, it's not even a baseball show at this point. We're just critiquing.
What's that fifth one before Samford at home?
The fifth one, that'd be Nebraska.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's pretty cool.
Or is it Nicholls State?
I think maybe no. Nicholls has a sword through it.
Okay, I think it's Nebraska, but
it's
anyway,
not Navy, right?
No, it wouldn't be Navy. Navy's got the little star and things like this. This is literally turned into.
We're just trying to make sure we get it right.
You think we would have done some prep work or something like that?
Okay, I've got the written version. It is Youngstown, and it is Nebraska.
Okay. We got it right. Look, I did my homework. All right. So there you have it. Take a look at the non-conference. We have talked about the SEC schedule too, and a little bit of the breakdown here. So I want us to not necessarily give a full preview of prediction, but just some thoughts about it here. I want to start us off here, Austin, and point the end of the schedule. Look at that stretch at the end at Texas A&M, at UAB, which is not easy, at Mississippi State, and at Jack State. Brutal. You're gonna, what is that?
Just finish it off with home against Georgia.
Home against Georgia too, but I'm just talking about the away portion of that. You're not gonna. What is this? The middle of the football schedule where we don't see Auburn for an entire month?
Yeah, that's 2 weeks right there.
Is that? It looks longer than that just because.
Well, when you take it from Oklahoma to April 27th to May 14th, yeah, that's maybe 2.5.
Either way, it's a long time, and that's a rough stretch on the road, and then cap it off with SEC competition at home. Even is still going to be tough. Right. That's what stuck out to me the first. Anything else that sticks out to you from this schedule?
Well, I love that Nebraska at home early. I think that's really cool to get a Power 5 opponent in there before SEC play really gets going for a full weekend series. I think we saw that a few years ago with Boston College, maybe. I remember that was when it all kind of went downhill that year. So that's very cool to see Cincinnati to start, just odd team. I don't mean odd as any kind of a knock against them, but just different teams in baseball you get to see come to Plainsman.
Sure.
West Georgia. Right. I love that. The Wolves. I love that you get to see them. And then we've discussed the SEC schedule at length. It's brutal every way you cut it. But just very, very cool to see. And I'm looking to make sure I'm right that South Alabama matchup is at Riverwalk. That's always a very, very, very cool event to be at.
Used to be Auburn and Alabama, but that's not a thing.
Apparently they don't want to play that anymore, so we're just not. But Auburn continues to schedule a lot of in-state teams for that event. And if you have not gotten to that, we'll talk about it as we get closer. But if you've not gotten out to that, it's a great, great spot to be at.
I would say I think South Alabama actually is the perfect place for that because they've got a good, proud program there. And to me, and it's still a longer drive for them, but it's just the major halfway point between the two of them. And so I think it makes perfect sense in that ballpark, in that venue. Like I love Nebraska being there. Cincinnati, I guess I just didn't realize they had a baseball team. So that was kind of that stuck out to me. It's the same thing every year, but I just am so thankful we continue to do this home and away with Georgia Tech every year. I am the biggest advocate that Georgia Tech and Auburn should play in every sport every single year. I know it's not possible.
Nope.
I understand,
Football.
but I get it.
There's mine. You want mine for 31-32? I want
I'm
Georgia
with you.
Tech. There you go.
I'm with you. But Georgia Tech being on there is a lot of fun. Is there anybody from the regional non-conference that you feel like is missing? I can think of maybe North Alabama playing them up in Huntsville. That's happened a lot this year. And unless I'm mistaken, I don't see that on here unless one one of the other ones is a neutral site somewhere else, and I don't see. Sanford is
Troy is not on here.
okay. Troy's not on there.
And
So a few
Jack
missing.
State and home and away with Jack State has become more, just like Sanford, more kind of common, and UAB. Alabama State, I don't think that happens too often. So that's another good one. And then I'm trying to think of, I feel like I was thinking of one more in-state team.
UAH, do they have a baseball team?
Yeah, yes, but I don't think it gets played very often.
Yeah. So we're missing a couple.
It's the usual suspects, maybe outside of Troy. I feel like they usually try and get Troy once on the schedule at least.
That's if I had to say what's missing from this schedule for me, it's either a matchup with Troy and or a Huntsville matchup with somebody. It doesn't have to be North Alabama. We brought teams up down from Tennessee as well.
Right.
So I'm sad to see that that's not going to be on here. But still a fun schedule for Auburn baseball. People already posted College World Series bound and thing. A lot of talent coming back. We will do a preview and prediction show. When we get closer to that, it starts, as you can see, in February. So when we get closer to that time, we'll do that. But just
won't be long.
Yeah, soak it in. It's going to be exciting 2026 season for Auburn baseball under Butch Thompson, which brings us finally over to the other side of the diamond. Is it a side or is it just the other diamond? We just flip diamonds.
It's the other side of
the
Sanford Ave.
Can you say that baseball and softball are like the same side, or the two sides of the same coin?
They're two sides of the same base.
We'll go with it.
It's the other side of Beer Dave's Coliseum.
Just the other side. All right, so let's do that. Let's do a little bit of not a preview and prediction show, but just take a look at the full Auburn softball schedule that has been released in the last couple of weeks. Yes, I know it keeps doing that to me and I can't make it stop, but why it is. But there you have it. This is a graphic from the Auburn Athletics Department, courtesy of them. We thank them for that, so we can take a look at that here and not just read it off to you. We won't read the whole list of it here, but certainly you can take a look at that. We have talked about the SEC schedules when those were announced previously. So just kind of soak that in. Softball's a little bit different from baseball, where they have a ton of showcases and tournaments. I mean, look at that. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
And you got your War Eagle Classic. You got your Jane B. Moore Memorial and all the opponents that are going to be listed there for that. You have got, I'm trying to look at, you got South Alabama as a midweek opponent, Florida A&M, Jacksonville State, Troy is on there. North Florida starts off the year. So what else sticks out to you, Austin, from this schedule that you'd like to just point out to folks as they gear up for softball?
The biggest thing to me is that Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic in Palm Springs, California. Certainly the NFCA leadoff classic at the beginning in Clearwater.
Yeah.
We talk about that every year. It feels like Auburn is always being invited to Clearwater to start off the year.
Auburn South.
To kick off the softball season. But that Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic has some big names in it.
Yep.
We're going to find out, kind of similar to like we were saying with men's college basketball. We're going to see if Auburn can compete with the bigs of the bigs in the second year under the coaches Malveaux. There you go. I'll warm up to it. With Oregon, UCLA, BYU, Washington, Cal State Fullerton, and Cal. Those you will see. I'll put an over under 3.5 of those teams in Oklahoma City for the Women's College World Series. And so Auburn will be tested very early there in Palm Springs.
Can I make a comparison to this particular event with a sport that people are paying attention to a lot right now, basketball? This invitational feels very much to me like your Players Era tournament of softball. Is that a fair assessment, Austin, with Oregon, UCLA, BYU, Washington, Cal State? I know it's all West teams.
Sure, and less teams, but
yeah.
Those first four, especially Oregon, UCLA, BYU, and Washington, are going to be some of the biggest teams in the sport.
Yeah,
they are every year. They will be again this year.
But what about that other one though? That NFCA Leadoff Classic, Notre Dame, Michigan State, Pittsburgh, Clemson, Penn State. You got ACC, Big Ten, Independent
all
in
over.
there, all over the place. So there's never going to be anything like the Players Era tournament. It's unique to its sport, but those two right there, you got a West concentrated one, a Northeast, most and East concentrated one. Auburn is going to be tested
Absolutely.
around the globe. If I'm making comparisons, this feels like that year that men's basketball kind of literally went around the country
Yeah.
and all of their, their different things that they are there. But you got plenty of opportunities to see the Auburn Tigers here in the confines of Jane B. Moore Field. Is there, I know we talked about the SEC schedule previously, but anything from that do you think people should be aware of or you want to point out?
Well, I mean, you're going to Norman, Oklahoma. Two series is into the SEC schedule.
Rough.
Obviously, that is rough, and one we will talk about. But that does not diminish the rest of the schedule. You go to Gainesville, you go to Fayetteville, you go to Baton Rouge. That is a gauntlet if you could ever ask for one. But of course, you get good ones as well too. The Iron Bowl of softball returns with Alabama coming in early April. Maybe that's centered around a whatever it could be, an A-Day. Who knows?
I was looking at that today.
Is it an A-Day?
It's nothing yet, but
so will there be one? Who knows? But it's the same schedule. I love that there's a home and home with South Alabama. I think like we were just talking about with South that you get to go down to Mobile. Bruce Pearl was one who was always very thought-provoking on making sure you go to where other subsects of the Auburn family are with around the state. That gives our Auburn people in Mobile an opportunity to get to see them, where they're going to Troy as well. So that's very cool. But it looks like a very fun schedule for Auburn softball this year.
Yeah, I'm not to take anything away from schedules previously, but just looking at this one on paper on this graphic that they provided, I'm really excited about it for some reason. Not because I think Auburn's about to go on some College World Series. Of course, we think that every year. We're Auburn fans, after all. But I just think there's a lot of fun to be had here. A lot be tested early, often, and of course, you will be in SEC play. So, a lot to be excited about there. Whether it's for non-conference, for the SEC schedule, all of that. And Auburn softball will be here before you know it. With that being said, folks, that is going to do it for the Auburn Experience podcast. We appreciate you all spending some time with us today and letting us have a little bit of a break in there. For those of you that didn't watch the live show, you're like, what are you talking about, Kyle? But here's a little tease for you to watch the live show sometimes. For those of you that are on the audio portion, we love you guys over there too. Really, it's where all of this podcasting stuff began anyway. So we very much are glad to have you replay, live, audio, video, or all of it for those of you that are just nut jobs. But we love you. Thank you guys for spending some time with us. Keep up with me if you want to on X. I'm Kyle Loomis 24.
You're 24.
I see. That's how little I'm on there, but I'm there. E2C Network at gmail.com, and DM should be open most places if you'd like to contact us that way. Where can they find you, sir?
Yeah, at Austin G. Scott on most places, where you can find me. And hey, Merry Christmas, everybody. Hope everybody has a fantastic Christmas. We are so grateful for each of you that watch and listen to us grouchy old men and knuckleheads. But certainly hope that you have a Merry Christmas season and remember the reason for this season. Praise the Lord, we were given such a beautiful gift.
Absolutely.
So long ago.
Absolutely. Well said. As always, for you and yours, we wish a happy, a safe, a Merry Christmas, and hope you do take the time to remember that reason for the season. And as we go, we'll remind you of these things. The Auburn Creed asks you to do justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with God. We ask you to do the same. War Eagle.
War Eagle.
All right, folks. Well, we had a little bit of a dip out there in the middle. Somebody had a poop attack.
There was no such thing that occurred.
Sir, I will give you final say if you need to before we go, or you're more than welcome to stay. But I figured you've got some things you need to attend to. So, final words for you.
Nothing for me. Hope everybody has a Merry Christmas. Certainly, enjoy family time. Stay safe.
Yep.
And yeah. Well, look, Kyle, I didn't mention it in the show, but I was thinking about it. We got all these schedules now. It's right as this new year turns, we'll be letting people know about the weekends to hit in Auburn, Alabama. So get ready. Get ready to save your Christmas money for some tax dollars in Auburn.
And for Austin, for his property taxes or for his property values to go up because the city's doing so well. I don't know if that's actually how it works, but
yes, I got a high school being built right down the road.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Keep on building.
All right, folks. I'm going to stick around with you, but we're going to say goodbye to Austin. Thanks for hanging out with us, buddy. Go take care of whatever that is.
Thanks.
Maybe I know you're having some stomach issues or whatever, but
not my stomach. Thanks so much. Merry Christmas.
All right. See ya. All right, folks, you're stuck with me for the last little bit here. I will leave a little bit of room for a Q&A here. We went a little bit long tonight, also started a little bit late, and we had our little fun time there at the end. So please do utilize this time if you'd like to bring up any other comments, questions, topics. I saved a couple. We did address a few of those, and Austin and I were kind of into the graphics there for a second, so I really wasn't paying attention as much. So if you would like to have me bring back something up to discuss here or discuss, I knew that'd get you, WT, discuss a little bit more details, some things, please drop them in here right now. I really don't have any major graphics for you guys. The only thing that's right now scheduled for this week, live stream wise, is the next episode of the Auburn Experience podcast, episode 156. Obviously, a week from today, we will be doing that live. We don't have any plans for that to be any different time right now, anything like that. I should be back home by then. But obviously during holiday season, things can get a little dicey. There will be a post-game show for Auburn Queens. It will be very late. That's Monday. I had that wrong earlier in the week when I said that. It's on, Monday. Anyway, we will have a post-game show for that, but that's a ways away. So be looking for that coming up soon with all the holidays going on right now. That's really it, guys. No Auburn Family Night this week because it's Christmas Eve. Sorry. I'm going to spend it with my family. And I know you need to be doing that as well. For those of you that have that or don't live far away from people, you're blessed with that. But please, I do say this. I hope that each and every one of you know how much we value having you here as part of our little family within the Auburn family. And if no one else wishes you Merry Christmas this year, please hear that sincerely from me, Austin, as well. And we appreciate you choosing us for your Auburn content. With all that said, that's really the reminders I have for you. If there's anything else, let's see what we got going on here. I am hoping the new year brings back all the great construction news. Now, WT, I know it's not your favorite, but trust me on this. A lot of people love those construction updates. I cannot tell you the amount of DMs or even just right there for everybody to see on social media comments I would get. Are you going to do an update on this particular thing? Or when's the next time you're going to do that? That's really all it takes in the content creation world, is if you ask for it, even if we say no initially, it may not be a no forever. We're kind of beholden to, for the most part, what people want. And there's that. I will address this too. Yes, I noticed this. What you're talking about is this when it does this. So that, I'm not sure why that's happening again on that one. It has something to do with the setting that I use on my computer. Right here, if you notice, a little bit, pull the curtain back, it unblurs the background. If you notice, well, a little bit of shadow. So there's the shadow when I come in front of it like that. Yeah. So there's that kind of thing. Anyway, but some of that is magnified by that thing that blurs the background out and makes it look more professional. At least that's what they tell you. Anyway, I don't know. There you go. Oh, look, construction update from Corey. Same company doing the STEM ag building won the contract for the new high school. Corey, that's the stuff that we need right here, man. So back to what WT was saying. The major projects that have been going on are either completed or have moved to phases that really don't display as much of their progress. And the ones that people didn't be interested in, the athletics ones, are wrapped up right now. Obviously there's talk of the football thing happening and, the expansion or whatever at some point. We'll see. But yeah, they'll be coming along down the line. Let's see here. Will or have you watched the USF game in a bowl game to kind of get a feel for what Golesh looks like? No, I haven't watched it because they got blown out too, I think. I don't think you really can take, I shouldn't say anything of value, but I don't think you can take much of value from a situation like that where a guy is just vacated. When the head guy goes, there's a reason things kind of either get better or get worse, because they're the thing that's kind of holding it all together. So I really wouldn't watch it to see a reflection of him. You probably would, maybe Micah, get a sense of something, but it doesn't sound like it was that successful of something. It would have been more unique or more useful had he remained and coached with them. I'm thankful he didn't, because he had a lot of work he needed to do here. But that is where I would probably say that's probably, not much to take away from there of any substance. STEM building will be done in April. Thank you for the heads up there, Corey. I always appreciate those from you, sir. This is from Alan. Don't have a question. Just have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. War Eagle. We're going to be all right. I love it, man. Love it. Love it. Yeah, pointing out John Sumrall got blown out too. But yeah, he is in a little bit of a transition as well. You can give him a little leeway there. Of course, I won't get into all that debates right here this night. Anything else? Let me make sure my saved things. We talked about Tiger Rags. This was brought up by WT. Schools are canceling Notre Dame because they're demanding if they're not in the top 10, they get an auto bid to the playoffs. If that cancels this Notre Dame series, I riot. I just do. I don't care. Let them get what they want. Give them what they want. I need this game to happen. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it at all. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. Thank you so much for being here once again. Stay subscribed, stay following. Again, our schedule will be a little bit limited on live streams this week. Only thing planned is next Sunday at this moment for another Auburn Experience show, but always stay connected so you never know when we might go live. I do wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas. I hope it is safe. I hope it is fruitful, productive, happy, full of light and joy, all the things, and Christmas cheer. And we appreciate you spending a little bit of your holiday time with us right here and right now. As we go, I'll say it again. The Auburn Creed asks you to do these things, to do justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with God. We ask you to do the same. War Eagle.